Okay, hold on. There we go. Let me try that again. I was just talking and I forgot to click live. That's not a good way to start off a stream. Anyway, welcome to the first stream of 2024. Tonight we're going to do something different, but I think you're going to learn a lot and have a lot of fun. So I'm going to be doing a lesson on the Ponziani opening, which is this move right here, C3. If you don't know anything about that, that's okay. We're going to talk about it. And if you already know something about it, stick around. You're probably going to learn a few extra things. But immediately following the lesson, we are going to be playing a tournament on chess.com, but it's not just any tournament. It's a special tournament where the starting position is going to be this position right here, which means whether you're playing as white or black, you're going to be forced to play the Ponziani, essentially. It's not going to be rated, but, basically you can practice immediately what we just learned, essentially, from both sides. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I've never done this before, but it seemed like a good idea. So, hey, Anthony, thank you. Appreciate that. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the lesson. And if you want to join the tournament, I pinned the link on chess.com to the club that you need to join, and you should see the tournament there. You can go ahead and register for that now. It's already scheduled to start. So it'll look something like this. And you'll just click on this green join button once you go there, and then it'll take you to this other page, which will look something like this. I see some of you guys have already started joining, 31 people. And then down at the bottom there, you can see it on my screen, that green join. I'm going to go ahead and join so I don't forget as well. There, I just joined the tournament. Okay, so go ahead and do that if you want. And if not, that's okay. You can just stick around for the lesson if you're not going to play in the tournament. But it's unrated, so you may as well have fun and put what we learned to practice, okay? Well, let's go ahead and get started. So Ponziani, actually, I need to go back to this board where I have all my notes. Okay. So the Ponziani is an opening that you can play against e5. If you play knight f3, you attack the pawn. Most people are going to defend it with knight to c6. This is very, very common. And now instead of the Ruy Lopez or instead of the Italian game, which everybody's playing, we can play c3, okay? And the point behind c3 is very simple. We want to play d4 and get both pawns in the center. And we'd like to be able to, let's just say black makes a random move. We'd like to be able to recapture with our pawn and keep that strong center, right? Because you could also play an opening like the Scotch game where you play d4 right away. But the drawback here is that when they take you, you don't have the option to take with the pawn. You can take with the knight, but you're not going to get that really strong pawn center. Okay, so that's kind of the basic idea behind the Ponziani with c3. Now, against a good player, they're always going to respond with either d5 or knight f6. These are pretty much the only two good moves. At the lower levels or the intermediate levels, a lot of times you'll see bishop c5, and I think a lot of people are just in a habit of playing this move because they think it's actually stopping d4. But really, if you count it up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 defenders, you can just play d4. And you actually just gain a tempo on the bishop. It's kind of like a wasted move. And so it's really not a good opening for black. Yes, they can throw in a check, but we don't really care. We just develop our knight. And it's a pretty nice position for white. Okay, so don't worry about bishop c5. If you see that, just play d4 and go on with your life. All right, so d5, we're going to save for part 2. Okay, so this is the other... forgot to turn off the sounds. Sorry about that. This is the other part of the, what was I going to say? This is the other move that they can play. Okay, so d5 and then knight to f6. Now, knight to f6 is more common, and that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight in part 1. Okay, so knight to f6. Obviously, the first thing that you might notice is it attacks this pawn on e4, and we can't defend that with our knight going to c3. But when you play the Ponziani like this, what you're going to do is just play d4 anyway, right? So this is why we played c3. We just played anyway, and we actually sacrificed this pawn temporarily. And the idea is that we're going to be able to get it back very, very quickly after we play the move d5. So we play d5, we chase black's knight away, and then we're going to grab this pawn, and it's essentially just a big pawn trade. Okay, so we lose this, we gain this. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's talk about this position and where is black going to move the knight to? Well, if you look carefully, you can't go forward or you just lose your knight. You could go back, which, believe it or not, is one of black's better moves, but a lot of people for whatever reason, don't want to do that, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you just developed your knight. Why would you want to go back? So that doesn't really happen all the time. Knight to a5 is a very bad move. If you guys would like to pause, what should we play as white if black plays knight to a5? This one's not too difficult. Well, if you had a chance to look at that, hopefully you said e4. And the point is that the knight is trapped. You can't go here, it gets captured. You can't go here, it gets captured. And you can't go back to c6, you get captured. And so next move, we're just going to take the knight for free, essentially. Okay? So that's the problem with knight to a5. And so it really only leaves the knight moving to e7, which is really what you see most of the time. Okay? They go back to e7. And if this happens, we're going to grab our pawn here in the center. And like I said, we just got the pawn trade. Now, what do you guys think black might try to play in this position? Look at this knight sitting in the center of the board. What do you think a common move is for black? Go ahead and comment it in the comments. What do you think black might play here? Like, if you're playing black in this position, what do you think you would play? Anyone at all? All right, Matthew says d6. Just Green Dude says d6. Sea Butter says f6. On to d. Yeah, lots of people are saying d6. Yep. And this is the first trap in the Ponziani. This is one of the reasons I like the Ponziani. There's all kinds of traps. There's all kinds of traps in all different lines. And this is a good example. d6 is actually a huge blunder. Black is already losing. Do you see the follow-up? Does anybody see the follow-up here for white? Now that you know it's losing for black, what can we play? You guys are absolutely correct. This is played a ton of the time. It's a very common response, but it's bad. What do we play as the follow-up? I'll just give you guys a second, see if you can spot it. Shane says queen a4. Okay. I see a few people saying bishop b5. I see somebody saying knight f7. So the correct answer is bishop to b5. And basically, black has no good way to deal with the threat. And the reason this is better than queen a4 is because on bishop to d7, we now can actually just force black to lose their queen. Imagine if we had to take with the queen, it wouldn't be as good. So that's why bishop b5 is the move. And of course, they don't want to lose their queen like this. And the only other move that they can play to get out of the check here would be c6. We're just going to take it. We're going to take it. And at the end of everything, look at this. We have this beautiful fork here. And black is falling apart. It's actually better here to just take the knight. It's always better to take a free piece instead of a rook for a bishop or something like that called the exchange. Okay? And we're already up a piece. Black's position is terrible. So, very nice little trap there. This happens all the time, even at the high levels. I've played this at 2200 level, and I can't tell you how many times people have played this because it just looks so natural. It just looks like, yeah, I need to just get this pawn up, get the knight out of there, develop my bishop later, and they just forget that you can't actually do that now because of the threat here. Okay? So, remember that one. And the better move here for black is the move knight to g6. All right, if they are smart enough to see this, or they've studied it and they know that they can't do that, they'll play knight to g6. But now we actually have an opportunity to set yet another trap. And the move that I'm going to recommend to you guys here is bishop to d3. So instead of dealing with this threat on our knight, we create a counter threat on black's knight. So that if they take us, we take them. And it's just a trade, right? Now, a lot of players here with black, they see this and they see what we're trying to do. They're like, okay, he wants to take my knight if I take him. So what can I do instead? And they come up with this idea, knight takes f2. And the point is that they're forking us, right? It's a triple fork. So after we take their knight, now they're going to take here because they were going to lose their knight anyway. And they got a pawn and he lured our king out, right? And I mean, that makes sense, and it looks like a pretty clever idea from black, but we actually have, some people are saying it, some people have seen this before, we have a crazy queen sacrifice here. Bishop takes g6. This is a killer move, and here's the idea. If the knight takes our queen, we're going to go on the attack here. Bishop takes f7, check. forces the king out. We're going to go bishop g5 check, which is almost checkmate. Only one space for the king to d6. You could take the queen and have a pretty nice game, but an even better move here is to go knight to c4 check. And notice this, the bishop's here, the knight's here. This is defended, by the bishop, not the knight. Only move for black is to go to c5. And even now, we still don't take the queen. We have an even better move. Wait for this. Knight b to a3. And you say, wait a second, Nelson, we forgot about the bishop. Black's going to take our bishop, right? Nope, they're not, because if they do that, b4 is checkmate. This is move 13, and we just checkmated black with a pawn on b4, and their king is on c5. I mean, look at this. The knight, the pawn, this is defended. You got this pawn doing some work. You got this knight doing some work, and the king is trapped. It's incredible, right? And they could try to survive by taking that pawn so that we don't push it. Then we have bishop e3, checkmate. And I guess the only way they could survive is if they take on c3, and then in which case we just take the queen. We're still up a piece. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 against 3. And on top of that, black's king is in trouble. Super nice line. Super nice line. A lot of fun. Okay? So just to recap, how do we end up here, right? Because that was a long one. Let me just go back to the beginning. Do a little recap here. So we play d4, okay? They take our pawn. We're going to go for the trade, so we chase this knight away, right? Because we want to recapture. They go back to e7. This is one line. We take on e5. Remember, they can't play d6. This is a blunder because bishop e5 check. So if they know what's going on, they might play knight to g6 instead. Now we set another trap with bishop to d3, offering the trade here. If they decide to get a little fancy and go for this, we say, thank you very much. We come in here, and that's what leads to this crazy long line where they might get either checkmated or lose their queen after check, knight here, and then there's the checkmate threat. Okay? So really, really nice stuff. And if they don't fall for that, and they don't play knight takes f2, most people will just take you here. You take them back. Maybe they'll develop, you'll castle. Something like this will happen. And it's basically an equal position at this point, and, you know, just keep playing the game. Okay. So that's a fun one. Let's keep going and see what else we can learn here. How much time do I have? Yeah, I have 17 minutes before the tournament starts. Reminder, you could still join. Just click that link, join the club, and then you'll see the tournament right there. You can join. And the tournament, remember, is with the Ponziani as the starting position. So everybody's going to get to practice what we're learning here, which is going to be so much fun if you can remember it. But that's the whole point. You practice it so you can play it in tournaments. All right. So we talked about d5, and the knight doesn't really have a lot of options. Most people aren't going to go back to b8, although that is an acceptable move for black, and then you just keep developing like normal. We talked about knight to a5. It gets trapped. And now I want to draw your attention to what I think is the best move for black, bishop to c5. It's a piece sacrifice. They say, you know what? Forget about my knight. I'm going to ignore it, and instead, I'm going to go and counterattack. And this is actually a very, very annoying threat because we don't have an easy way to deal with this. Bishop e3 is just not really a good move because it allows black to just trade. They still can save their knight, and they've weakened our king here. We have problems here, and it's just not a great version for us. So what we have to do is actually just capture the knight, okay? And now black has two options, 1 and 2. And it turns out that the better option is to take with the bishop. Okay, but I want to show you first the more obvious one. If you take with the knight and get the fork, what's going to happen? All right, so here's an idea you want to remember. Queen to d5. And essentially what we're saying is if black takes our rook, we're going to take the bishop. And remember, we already took black's knight. Now we took their bishop. And this knight over here is trapped, so we're probably going to take that too. So we're actually going to get 3 minor pieces, 2 knights and a bishop, all for a rook, which is a really great trade for us, right? Rooks are 5 points, knights and bishops are 3. We just got 9 points and we only lost 5. It's a great trade. So you can see why this is not a very good line for black, okay? So what should black do instead? And what if they know what they're doing, they're going to take with the bishop, put you in check, and then they're just going to go back. And the reason this is better for black is because now they have an attack on our king. Now our king is in a bad spot, right? We've blocked our bishop. We can't castle. We're stuck in the center. And even though they don't get the fork right away, they're still threatening to probably go there later. And so this is just the best version for black. Okay, so what are we going to do against this? The line that I'm going to recommend is queen to d5 again. So remember this queen d5 move. We're seeing that a lot. They are probably going to move here. There's, of course, a number of things that they could do, but they will probably need to save the knight. And so most people will go. They're going to... oh, my OBS just disconnected. Are you guys still with me? Let me know. Say yes. Say yes if you can still hear me. Because I feel like I just disconnected. Sorry about that. Is everybody good? Shane? Yeah, sorry, Shane. It showed me that it was disconnecting OBS and then it just reconnected. We're good? Okay. Sorry about that. So what I was saying was black is essentially saying, look, I'm giving up that bishop. I gave up my knight already, but your king is in the center. My king is safe, and now I'm going to attack you. Okay? And so the line that I recommend here is actually queen takes b6. And what we're doing is saying, look, I'm going to get 2 more pieces. I already got the other knight and bishop. So now I have 4 pieces for the queen. And 4 pieces for a queen is really good. Usually even 3 pieces a lot of times is kind of equal to a queen, maybe even a little better. So 4 pieces is great. Now it's interesting though, because our king is not totally safe. And black has a lot of pawns here that they could throw forward. And so it's actually, Stockfish thinks it's an equal position. I think it's very interesting. But personally, I'd probably rather have the 4 pieces, but you do have to be careful. Okay? So that's a really good one to remember. And let's just recap that one as a reminder because that was a lot. So remember, they don't have to move the knight. They can go for the piece sacrifice instead. The best version for black is to take with the bishop and then just to go back to b6. And then what we're going to do is queen d5 anyway, attacking the knight. They're probably going to jump to f2. We're going to snag it over here. And then after this, when they castle, we're going to do the sacrifice and get all 4 pieces. Now, by the way, they don't have to castle. They could also grab our rook. And in this case, believe it or not, Stockfish really likes to move a4. Basically just saying, look, I'm going to try to come over here and like do something to your bishop, maybe trap it and push my pawns forward. I don't know. It's kind of weird. This is one line that I did look at. The knight comes out, you jump over to here. It's pretty equal position still. Our king is not that safe, but we do have the 2 pieces for the rook, which generally is a good thing. So it's kind of balances out. Okay. Let's go back, and because I'm running out of time, I have 10 minutes, and I want to make sure that I cover some of these other lines. All right, so let's go back to the beginning here. By the way, if you haven't joined the tournament, make sure you go ahead and do that. Let me see how many people do we have here. We've got 62 people already. Remember, this is going to be a tournament just starting from this position right here. So you're going to get a chance to practice all of these lines. Okay? All right, so when we play d4, we kind of talked about if they take us here, what we're going to do, right? We're going to push d5 and we go for that pawn trade. And then we talked about all the other craziness after that. The other thing that black can do is take this pawn instead of taking with the knight. They could take here. And this leads to kind of some different things. So what we're going to do now, we don't want to take this back right away because then we're going to lose our pawn on e4. So what we do first is we push our pawn, so that's no longer a liability for us. We gain some space and we gain a tempo on the knight. And now there's actually a whole bunch of moves here that black could play. Because if you think about it, they might move knight to d5, they might move knight to e4, they might move knight to g4, and even queen e7, okay, is another one. So there's actually, and they could even go back to g8. So there's really 5 moves that black could play. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, the most common is knight to d5. Most people don't want their knight to get trapped. This is actually a bad one. And so a lot of people play knight to d5. Now, I used to take this pawn and I realized that there's actually a better way to do it. And here's why. If I take the pawn right away, black's going to go bishop check. And now I don't have the option to block with the knight. Because if I block with the knight, I'm just getting forked, right? And I don't want this. I don't want to get forked. So what do we do instead? Instead of taking back right away, what I recommend that you guys do is play the move queen to b3. And we're just throwing this move in because we want to force the knight to move. Most people are going to go back to b6. And now we take this. And notice the difference. When the bishop comes and puts us in check, now we can play knight to c3. We don't have to worry about getting forked because the knight's already moved away. And we have the queen defending. Okay, so I think that's the best way to do it. And then they might castle. We can just develop our pieces. Something like this could be how the game goes. There's a little... I think this is the line where there's a little trick. Is there a little trick here? Let me see. Yeah, okay, it's not really a trick. It's just, basically this is the position. You sacrifice a pawn, but black's pawn structure is all messed up. We get nice attack on the queen, and the game goes on. It's pretty equal. Okay, so that's one that I think you should be aware of. That's the knight to d5 version. I also want to mention very briefly why knight to g4 was bad. So let me jump to that one here. Knight to g4 is bad because we simply take, we've defended here, and then what we're going to do next, after we deal with their threat over there, is we're going to play the move h3. And we're attacking the knight, and look carefully, can't go there, you can't go there, you can't go there, you can't go there, you can't go here. Only really safe square is on h6, but then of course we are going to trade that, and we've exposed black's king. So that's why that's not really the greatest square. This is pretty good for us, okay? The other one that I want to touch on briefly is queen to e7. So queen to e7, they're basically saying, look, I don't care about my knight. Instead of moving it somewhere, I'm just going to pin your pawn. You can't take me because it's pinned. And what I recommend you do here is go ahead and take back. And then usually they're going to do something like d6, trying to attack you. And then the line that I looked at earlier, actually don't remember this one, I have to look myself. Bishop to b5, so we're pinning the knight, okay. Probably threatening d5 here to attack the knight. This is a good way to win a piece if they're not paying attention. If they take, we can take back. Bishop to d7, so they break the pin there, and then we castle. Now remember, when we castle, our king is no longer in line with the queen, which means what? We're threatening to take the knight. Okay, so they have to do something about that. Let's just say knight to g4. Get an attack with the bishop. Trade here, and there's actually a little queen pin there, and so already we're in a great position because the king and the queen are stuck there. So not the greatest line for black, but I wanted to show you that as well. Okay, we have 5 minutes before the tournament. Any final questions? I know that was a ton of information. Don't worry if you don't remember it all. Try to remember some of the ideas. Go back and rewatch this if you have to, and review it. But I do want to answer a couple of questions. It's way too fast. Okay, I want to actually do a poll. Was I going too fast? I want to see how many people think that, yes or no. Was I going too fast? Go ahead and let me know. Because what I have to do next time maybe is, instead of just part 1 and 2, maybe I'll go like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, like split it up into more parts so I don't have to cover so many lines. You need this as a video earlier in the week. Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Was I going too fast? It's about 50-50, roughly. Most people say no. Some people say yes. Okay. Let me see. Any questions here? You memorized 10% of that? Hey, 10% is better than nothing, right? Okay, I was a little fast for quite a few people. I'll see if I can work on that for next time. It is a lot. It is a lot of theory, but I don't really know how to do that in a short period of time. Yeah. Okay, 5 minutes for the tournament. Make sure you go and join the tournament. So, 81 people. Awesome. Remember, it's going to, as long as I did it correctly, it's going to be starting from the Ponziani position. Okay, it's going to be starting from this position right here. So, try to remember at least enough to choose one of those lines and play it. Do both sides have to do Ponziani or just white? So, the tournament's going to start from this position, and then you can play whatever you want. But, you may as well try to play some of the lines that we talked about. But it's once it starts, you can just move a random pawn if you want. So it's up to you. Yeah, you do have to click the join button twice. Thank you for saying that. Make sure you click it twice. So once you go to the main page, you click join, takes you to like the tournament page. You have to go down there and click the green join button again. Okay. What's my favorite line? Oh, it has to be the checkmate with the pawn on b4. Has to be that one. So I don't get to play it often, but when it happens, it's nice. So d4 takes d5, knight goes here. Take this, bishop to d3. They try to get fancy. We grab over here. We take our queen. Check, check, check. The king is just running knight to a3, and they don't recognize the checkmate. That's definitely my favorite right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unrated, guys, so please don't cheat. It ruins it for everyone. Like, you're not going to get any points. Just, like, try to have fun. Is it Blitz? Yeah, it's five minutes, I believe, is what I set it for. Yep, 5 minutes. You have 94 people. Remember, you got to hit the join button twice. So if you didn't do that, you might not actually be in the tournament. So make sure you scroll and see. Okay, I need to get, let's see, this on, and then this on. So I'm ready for the tournament. We're starting in a minute and a half, guys. It's unrated. Yeah, it's unrated, Andrew, just because I'm forcing people to play a certain opening. I think it should be unrated. All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody. We have 100 people. All right. It's an 8-round tournament. You're going to get a chance to use what we learned. If you don't remember everything, that's okay. Just do your best. Have fun. And yeah, I got quite a few people in here. Awesome. Good luck to everybody. Hmm. 30 seconds. Make sure you join now, because after like a couple of rounds, I don't think you can join later. So go ahead and join now if you're planning on playing. All right, here we go. Good luck. D Murtaugh. What's he gonna do? And so you can see how it just put us straight into this position. So this is actually really fun. I'm gonna have to. Okay, so which line do I guess we're gonna go for that piece sacrifice. So let's go ahead and take the pawn. And I'm gonna go for bishop c5 here. Hey Dan, is that you? Good luck. You got this. You know all the theory. Just remember. Oh, yeah, I don't think that was the line we talked about. Don't think that was the one. You had to push here. Remember, you had to trade the pawns. Push this, chase my knight away so that you can come in here. And I was going to go for the piece sacrifice and let you take it. This one, I'm going to get your piece now. Although, to be fair, there was a ton of lines, so I can't really blame you for not remembering them. All right, so I'm ahead a piece. I'm going to go ahead and trade some material. And do I want to move the knight from there or just leave it? I'll move it. Actually, no, I won't. I'm going to go on the offensive here. All right, I'm contemplating sacrifice. I think it's a blitz game. I'm going to do it. We're going to lure the king out and then see if we can make something happen here with the queen and the knight. Okay, so where do we want to move the queen is the question. I'm actually going to castle. I'm just going to go ahead and get my king to safety right away. I mean, I could have played queen here, but white had some options to defend that, so... Dan said he closed the stream out. I was just going to say he can keep watching if he wants to. All right, let me go ahead with d5 here. And just making sure it's not a mistake, but it is, my queen is defended, so I should be good to go. And of course, on passant, I could recapture with the knight. We could go here. If white doesn't stop us, that's a serious threat because we'll win the rook. Okay, so he saves that. Nice move there by Dan. Let's go ahead with bishop to g4. So, I mean, I really didn't get as much out of the opening as I was hoping for after the queen trade. So, well played there by Dan. Now, I do have very active rook, bishop, pawn here, so the king has to be careful, actually. Let me just... I'm wondering if I can actually just bring the other rook over, even just sacrificing the bishop. I mean, but why should I sacrifice? I don't have to sacrifice. So we'll just go back. And then we'll go here next turn. Okay, let me bring the other rook over so that I keep control of the file here if we trade. All right, and I do see a little fork here. I think I will go for that, although there is king f4, so I don't actually... Oh yeah, but I can take, if he takes me, I take the knight. So I think that works. Okay, he goes back instead. So I'm still going to take this. Hey, Sonic fan. Hey, Chris. How's it going? Okay, so always ask yourself what the threat is when somebody makes a move, and I don't want to get back rank checkmated, so I'm going to push a pawn. It's a question of which pawn do I want to push and where. I'm going to push it here just because, you know, I might want to advance these in the future, so I think that makes sense. Okay, probably just save the bishop. Let's go here, and I don't have to worry about the checkmate because my king has a nice place to go. Okie dokie, and let's go ahead. Let's see, there is a fork here. Do I want that? I don't really want to let the rook get on the second rank, although it's defended, so I might be able to get away with that, but it just doesn't seem like the best plan. I think what I need to do right now is activate my king and get it to a safer place. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and I'm going to just continue with my plan here. Notice my king is supporting some of these things. Okay, so only because knights are kind of tricky pieces, I think I do want to just trade it off, and I'm happy with my extra pawn or two. I think I'll be able to win this endgame. Let's go ahead with the king. Probably going to come up here, but let's see what white's going to do. Hey, the original disco. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, good move. What if I go here, actually? Defends the pawn, forces the rook to leave. You can't take here. And then next move, I take the pawn. That seems like a great plan. It seems like a very clever move. Instead of just allowing the trade, I go for this. Yeah, there's more games. It doesn't start until everybody's finished the round. So you just have to wait a little bit. Okay, and now we take that guy. We can start pushing these. So did anybody get to play any of the lines that we talked about? If you got to play any of them, let me know. There's a fork. I see that. So I'm going to go ahead with that one. And now we can kind of grab the pawns here. I guess we'll just get a queen here. Probably the simplest thing. Good game to Dan. And let's see. Okay, so still a few people playing. Actually, are there? Yeah, just a couple people still playing. And then we'll start round 2. Let's see. You played the line with queen b3. Okay, very nice. Okay, you ended up sacrificing 2 pieces to castle. Okay. Your opponent blundered a queen. All right. No, I thought you played pretty well, Dan, actually. Except for that blunder early on. That was a bad start. But after that, the game wasn't really that too bad. So you missed the beginning of the stream. Oh, sorry. Next game just started. Maybe if I finish this one early, we will do that. All right, let's go with d4 here. Orange Knight 73. Good luck. And we'll see what Orange Knight wants to go with here. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and push forward here. And this was the one where we talked about there's so many different options for black here. You can really move the knight anywhere you want. You can move the queen to e7. Lots of choices for black. He goes for knight to d5, and I am going to go with the line that I just showed you guys, queen b3. So we attack the knight, and then we'll recapture after it moves. Probably has to go to b6, yeah. Okay, now we can take back. And he does go for the check, so we'll just play knight c3 like I talked about. And I think I'm going to take it with the pawn. Yeah, I'll take with a pawn. Just keep this pawn chain going strong here. And I'm going to choose d3 just because it seems a little bit more aggressive here on the h7 square. And the question is, do I get into trouble if I allow that? I don't think so, because I think I can just play bishop e3, but always want to take time. And then I also have a question of, would I rather do something else? Like a move like this or something? I'll go ahead and take it. I think taking it is okay. Oh, Orange and Knight said they missed some of the stream. I gotcha. Well, you played the line that we talked about, so nice job there. Let me go ahead and castle. Get the king out of the center before we get into trouble here. All right, so I'm always checking for forks, but unfortunately we don't have enough pieces defending it, so we can't do that. Let's just go back, create the attack over here. And then I think I'm going to play a4. I'm expecting h6 or g6 for black to deal with the attack. Okay, he doesn't stop it, so I will go ahead and take that. And still going to play a4, keeping the pressure up here. So black has to be very careful right now with their next move. How's my health? It's been better, been much better. I have like a little bit of a cold or something right now, but overall, like so much better from where I was. So thank you for asking. Let's go bishop a3. It looks to me like we've got the queen there. So I think black's in a bit of trouble now. Okay, he's going to sacrifice the queen. We'll go ahead and take that. I am going to lose the rook, but that's okay. No concern of a back rank made here. We've got everything covered nicely. And I guess we just go all the way back. And maybe we come over here and trade. And by the way, like, it's helpful. It's helpful to learn opening theory, but a lot of times you don't get to like use all the cool lines, right? And so you don't want to spend so much time learning it that you don't study other parts of chess, right? Because you might not even get to use it. So, you know, spend a little bit of time, learn some of those lines, but make sure you're working on other stuff too. So my bishop was going to probably be trapped, so I decided to go ahead and sacrifice. And let's go ahead. I think we can probably trade here, or maybe I can go for something better. How about like a fork? Yeah, okay, so I think we're going to take this guy. Now the question is, should I throw in this move first? Probably makes sense because it unconnects the rooks. And then we can take it. Trade that. Go for the skewer here. And then we can jump in with the knight. Yeah, Alan. That's right. It's I'll show you in just a second. Let me go for another fork here. And we'll bring the knight in. I think there should be a checkmate really soon. Don't quite see it just yet. Maybe I want to play f3 to stop. Now I'll just go ahead and take the knight first. Make it easy on myself. Okay, still don't see the checkmate. Let's go ahead. Now it should be any moment here. As long as we don't stalemate, but we're going to have just enough time. Good game, Orange Knight. Well played. I just kind of got away from you there at the end with the queen getting pinned. But other than that, wasn't too bad. Good game. So yeah, for Christmas, I got this, it's a Pac-Man Lego set. So you put Legos together and it makes it into a Pac-Man, like the old school arcade Pac-Man things. It's made out of Legos. It's all Legos. But it has like, you know, the light where you would put the coin. You can turn this thing and it makes Pac-Man move around. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera. There's like gears and stuff inside that make it all great. It's pretty cool. I have fun with these. I had the Nintendo with Mario before, but we've replaced it with Pac-Man, so. Yep. Had a lot of fun putting that together. Okay, so let's see. $127 people. All right, still quite a few games going on. Maybe I'm going to just watch somebody here. Let's see. Who's still playing that I could watch their game? How about GMV 818? Are you still playing? Yep. And I'm really... Oh, can white win with just a few seconds? Ooh, this is down to the wire here, guys. 2 seconds. Ooh, and he finds the checkmate. Well played with the upset there. Wow, I want to see how the opening went and see did they remember the lines. Capture d5. Bishop c5 takes. Check. Very nice. Very nice. Queen to d5. Great. He took the rook. a4. All right, these guys, they were on top of it. All right. Somebody's paying attention here. Very nice. All right, the Mexican Denzel. Good luck. All right. He plays d3. Interesting. So just wants to avoid all of the theory. Well, that is your right. If you want to do that, you can always steer it off the beaten path. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make this trade here. And I believe I can snag the pawn now. Okay, so he's going to allow me the fork. I'm going to do it. I do see a little bit of a threat here, but probably not worth losing the rook. And actually, I'll throw in a little in-between move here. Why not? If I can develop a piece, I'm going to do it. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I can't go there. I really wanted to play knight a5. I can't do that. All right. Never mind. We'll take the rook. I was looking for checkmates, and then I realized my knight's pinned. All right, so I think we want to save this since we can. So let's move it before it gets captured. All right, yes. As I was thinking, we have a fork. Probably. Okay, let's be careful here because we could get into some serious trouble here if we're not extra careful. So maybe I'm gonna just go for a6 because I don't want to deal with this. I really don't want to deal with that. All right, good. So we've cleared up that mess, and now we can move on and should be in pretty good shape here. So I'm just stopping the rook from coming over and also bringing my knight back into the action where I have, you know, more things that I can do. And then, of course, I will need to develop this guy at some point and try to get my rooks into the game. I think after this game, I'm going to actually stand up and do some walking on the treadmill. Yeah, nobody gets knocked out, Dan. You can keep playing. You'll just get paired against other people that lost their games. So, okay, let's go ahead and play f6. I want to get the bishop out of there and also probably tuck my king over here. Maybe over here. I just feel like I could chase that bishop somewhere. Gain a tempo. Why not do it? Let's go here. Offer the trade. Since I'm way ahead, I'm up a rook, right? Trading is good. Simplifying makes it easier for me. Are there breaks scheduled? No, I don't think so, Andrew. Because it's only 8 rounds and they're 5-minute games. It's pretty quick. I mean, I guess it is over an hour, but no, I don't believe there's breaks. Let's go ahead and trade. Let's go ahead and maybe come back here. A lot of times I like to put my bishops like this, where it's stopping all the squares that the knight could move to, and then you don't really have to worry about it, right? So that's what I'm going for there. Okay, let's go ahead and castle, or do I want to just play king f7? Where would I rather my king be? I guess king f7 makes more sense. Nah, we'll just castle. Why not? I was going to say I want the king to be involved in the game, but then I was like, the rook can come over. Maybe there's some tactics. Probably nothing, but no need to even mess around. When you're up a rook, you can just take it, simply. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let's get the rook involved. I am going to trade that. Let's move the bishop here. Attacks the pawn, unleashes the rook. Yeah, it should be unrated. Should be unrated. Let's go here. Actually, hold on a second. Dun 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 dun. I'm just giving up this pawn intentionally because we do have a little trap. You can trap the knight. Okay, let's go here. First time you've seen me live. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. All right, let's go. Bring the king in. Get out of the pin there. I could probably just go with a check. Take this guy. Good game, the Mexican Denzel. Well played. All right, I'm gonna real quick switch my treadmill over so I can walk here. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, here we go. Let's get some steps in. Sometimes I put it too far front or back, and then I have to adjust it, like just now. Okay. Whose game am I? Why am I watching this game? Oh, this was the old one. This was the old game. I see. Oh, this is the recent game here. Ooh, quite the time scramble. Puma comes out on top. All right. I believe next round should be starting very soon. Yep. Next round starting any second now. Wow, David. That's a little too cool. It's a little too cool for me. Thanks for keeping it light and fun. Yeah, no problem. Wow, I have no idea how to say your name, but good luck. Whoever I'm playing, good luck. I thought about trying to give it a shot, but then I decided the smart thing to do was going to be to not even attempt that. Okay, he goes for the knight capture, so we're going to play d5, try to kick the knight away and grab the pawn. He goes for that, all right, so we are going to take here. How do you get into these tournaments in the future? Just keep an eye on if I schedule a stream ahead of time, make sure you make a note of the time, and then 1 hour before the tournament starts, it'll open for registration. And I usually will post the link. There's a club on chess.com. You just have to join that, and then D6. Okay, so we have a deviation from the line here. My initial instinct says I should play D6. But there is going to be knight here, and then it's a question of, am I just throwing away my pawn, or do I have a follow-up? Also knight G6 at that point. Very interesting. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I think it's going to cause black too many problems, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, knight to f5, and I believe I have, this is what I was thinking, queen f3 here. Ah, but you know what? Maybe it doesn't work. I thought I was going to have some tactics here, but now that I'm looking at it carefully, I might have gotten myself into some trouble. But we'll see. We'll see if we can. It's definitely tricky. There might be something here still. Let's see. Let's just see. I'm going for it. Going for it. Okay, I didn't see that move. I did not see that move. Queen, yeah, because he's going to take with the queen. Uh-oh. I think we're in trouble, guys. I think we are in big trouble. Nice move. Nice move. Okay, I got to go here and hope that I can somehow come back from this mess. Hope I can somehow come back from this mess. Let's see. How do we do this? Let's go bishop f4. Try to develop my pieces here. So we're just down a piece. Yeah, we're just down a piece. Not ideal. Can I blame the treadmill? Can I say the treadmill gambit strikes again? Yeah, the treadmill trap. Okay, so he's trying to play d5, which is smart. It is smart. I don't even really have any tricks right now, unfortunately. All right, let me just go here. I don't know. I don't really know what to do. Yeah, I thought about pinning the queen, but there was going to be d5 anyway, so I was just going to lose some time, right? Don't really want to trade when you're losing, but sometimes you don't have a choice. Let's see if we can double up. Maybe we can make something happen with the battery here with the rooks. That might have been what we needed. That might have been just what we needed. Three six. Yeah, let's be careful here, though. To defend the threat. Watch out for the back rank mate at the same time. Let's go ahead and fix the back rank mate right now. I'm okay trading now because I'm even again, so that's the good news. Yeah, I'll play the end game here if black wants to do that. Well, why did I do that? That was not a good move. Could have just played here and taken my pawn. I think we should keep the rooks on the board. Because I don't trust these pawns over here. I don't trust these pawns. Good game. You had me. You had me early. I got a little too aggressive, but got lucky that I won that piece back there at the end. Good game. All right, guys. Next round starting soon. 4 more rounds to go. Tie. Good luck. Good luck. All right, what am I gonna do? Let's go with this one again. D5. All right, we'll go for the piece sacrifice here. And check. I don't usually play this from the black side, so I have to remember we go back to b6. Yeah, queen to d5, and then I believe I go for knight here. Take this guy. And then castle. I think I like the castling option. We'll see if Ty is going to go with my recommendation or if he's going to do something else. Yep, he's going to do it. All right, so we get the queen against the 4 pieces. And let's see. What would Stockfish play here? I bet Stockfish would push a pawn. That's what I think Stockfish would do. Yeah, I think Stockfish would just start throwing pawns forward. I really do. Because I don't have any pieces to use, so I may as well use what I have, right? May as well use what I have. How about this one? Let's just use all these pawns. This is going to be so interesting. The 4 pieces against the massive pawns and the queen. Very interesting stuff here. Yeah, see, like, maybe I just go ahead. Just go get the king, right? This also looks pretty appealing as well. Where would I rather have my pawns pushing forward? I think right here. I think you got to just go where the king is. Because I do have the queen, so. Okay. Okay. So there's queen h4. There's g5. There might be some other moves too. Let's try this one. I don't know. Maybe g5 was good too to try to recapture that way, but I want to get the queen involved. I want to get the queen involved here. Okay, so now we can play g5, probably. And we're going to get some more pawns to push. Yeah, I see why Stockfish said this position was equal, because even though normally the 4 pieces are going to be so much better than the queen, with all these pawns, it's not that simple. And the fact that your king's not safe, it's very, very interesting. All right, so he's going for the little tactic here, which is interesting. But I'll just take another pawn, and I'm just going to try to win the game with my pawn army here. C4. Okay, so he's trying to undermine the pawns here. Smart, I think. So how do we want to break through? I think now's the moment to break through. Just a question of that good enough? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I don't even know if I'm going to take that. I really don't. I actually think I'm not. I think I'm going to go this way. Because I want my rook to deliver the check so that I can take the rook. Okay, smart. He's defending. So let's change plans a little bit. Change it up a little bit here. All right. Do we have a checkmate here? Yeah, good game, Ty. Good game. That's such a crazy line. That's tough to play. I'm actually curious. I want to see what did Stockfish have to say about this. Okay, so castles, queen takes b6, blah, blah, blah. e4 was the best move. Okay. Knight d4 was fine. Knight c2 was fine. So bishop f4 is the best move. And I wonder what the idea is if I play g5. Because that's what I was going to do. You just plant the bishop to stop the pawn. And if I attack it, you go with a check. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Because it forces the king into the line with the rook. Wow. Stockfish is so ridiculous sometimes. Very interesting. I don't know that I would have seen that. So maybe I have to play d5 instead here. And then what's the move? h4, and you blockade that way. Okay, and then I have to go with d4. So look at how Stockfish is using these bishops like this. This is fascinating, actually. King h8. The rook comes up to h3, or you could go king g1. You could bring the knight out. Wow, and you still have to deal with stopping this. I mean, this is nuts. So crazy. So crazy. All right, good game, Ty. Yeah, no, that's definitely tough to play from both sides. So don't feel bad. All right, what are we looking at here? Next round starting soon. Okay. And here we go. A gold farb. Farb. Good luck. Let's play d4. See what they want to go with. Okay, we're going to push. We're going to go queen b3, like I recommended. We're going to capture here. Yeah, d5 is a good move. That's a good move. I think I will try bishop b5 maybe. And then I could just, yeah, I think I am going to just castle. Although maybe I should have played knight g5 while I had the chance. I don't really know. Let's see. Play a4 here. See if we can kick the knight around. Okay. Stops that. What should I do? What should I do? I'm going to go ahead and take it and mess up the pawn structure here. See if we can take advantage of this somehow. Really want my knight to land there. Can't easily do that. I mean, I do have a path, but it just takes forever. Okay, so not really worried about that because our knight jumps in and we're fine. So I actually feel... but there's this attack too. Okay, so maybe we go queen c2. Basically, I'm just trying to attack a weak pawn without losing anything else. Okay, so he wants to plant the knight there. I see. I see that. So, rook c3. Probably the move. Triple battery. All we have to do is get rid of that pesky knight. All we have to do is get rid of the pesky knight. Oh, he decides to lock it up. Was not expecting that. And now I think I have like b3, just a simple little chase the knight away move. And we're going to start munching on the pawns real soon. And I needed to keep all three because rook a6 could have defended. Yeah, he's trying to attack, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. I'm going to go ahead with my capture here. Believe I can take this one. Takes my queen, I take his queen. No more rating climb? No, not right now. We'll see about in the future, but right now it's not on the schedule at the moment. Okay, what's happening here? I get a rook. I get a rook. I lose. It's a trade. I take a queen. I lose a queen. I get a rook. It's a trade. I think the three's... Because I'm up some pawns, I should probably... it's a trap because of this. I see. I almost fell for that, actually. I almost did. So I have to do it this way. Totally almost fell for that. I was thinking it was forced to trade everything, but it wasn't. Okay, we take here. He's going to take one rook. Probably this one. And I'm just going to try to make pathway for my king to get in the game, basically. All right, let's go ahead with a fork here. We'll take as many pawns as we can. And you don't want to let the rook come in like this. You don't want to let the rook come in and start causing you problems. So I'm just going to go right back and just keep it out. That's fine. It's defended. So notice the rook can't come in, which is huge. Very, very important. Let's play g3. Okay, I'm okay if black wants to trade that because I'm ahead so much, so I will do that. I'm going to threaten checkmate. Just make sure there's no stalemates, but it looks like the king has some places to go. I should be good to go. Good game. Good game. Well played. So we have 2 more rounds. I think I'm going to stop walking now and just sit down. All right. Nice little walk break there. Make sure you guys are taking breaks. Stretch your legs. Don't sit for too long. Okay, couple games still going. Let's see. Who do we want to watch? How about this one? Interesting endgame that we have here. Very interesting. Wow. Down to the wire. That was interesting. Okay, and here we go. WGB3 is cool. Good luck. All right, D4. I'm going to... I like this one. I think I like this one, so let's just keep going with it. Check, and back here. Jump in. We'll take this. Ah, he goes for rook G1. Okay. Very interesting. And now I have a decision on what am I going to do? Because I can take here, but then I get checked, which I don't know if I like. Or I can castle, but then I have to be willing to give this up. Yeah, I think I like that better. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're down a couple of pieces, but we're going to attack the king, essentially, is what it comes down to, right? All right, so let's see. How do we do that? How do we attack the king? I don't know. I feel like E4 is the move. You just gotta chase the knight away, right? This is interesting because 2 pieces is a lot. But I know that it's supposed to be relatively equal, so we'll see what happens. So I want to play here, but can I actually, or maybe here's better? Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't think this is even a consideration because rook G2 looks too strong. All right, I think we got to go for this line here. And see what happens. Taking advantage of the pin. And now I'm going to try to get the rooks involved. So he wants to sack a piece just to simplify and trade queens. Okay, I can't allow that. No way. So I guess we have to go here. You can't trade queens, right? You're just down so many pieces. You got to keep the queens on the board. Okay, so what if I just do that? No, it's not good enough. I can't do that. Unless I want a perpetual, but I don't want a perpetual, so... Man, I just really don't know what to do. Okay. Well, maybe I should take the perpetual because I feel like I'm going to be losing if I don't. I mean, is it even a perpetual? That's the other question. I don't know. Maybe it's not. All right, fine. We'll play E3. I don't know. I think I'm just in trouble here. I think I'm just in trouble. Well, that looks like a mistake. Now I might be back in the game. But I didn't really know what I was gonna do. Otherwise, if white would have, I think Queen A3 maybe wasn't the right move. Yeah, that's rough. Well, Queen C3, I had Queen F2, so you had to do something about Queen F2, but I just don't know what it was. All right, good game. That's such a crazy opening. Like, it's just so wild. Let's see. Okay, so Stockfish actually says Rook G1 is totally playable. You don't have to take here. You can do Rook G1. I'm supposed to castle, which I did. Great, great, great. Is it E4? No, it's Queen F6. I had this move in my head. I'm like, I think it's Queen F6, but then I couldn't remember why. Like, why is it Queen F6? So I didn't play it. Played E4 instead. It's not the move. Yeah, G3. Yeah, I'm just totally lost here. Totally losing. +6 for white. Yeah, it's over here. It's over. Okay, all he had to do was take with the bishop. Take with the bishop. And I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing. Even if I do this, knight to D2. There's just too many pieces. And if I pin this, it doesn't even matter. You just go knight to D2 and everything is good. Yeah, that's how close white was to just destroying me. It's crazy. One move. Just one move. But even here, if you just take this, go knight to D2, somehow it's an equal position, which is kind of wild. It's equal. Okay. Because you still have 3 pieces for the queen after all that, which is amazing. All right. Wow. What do we have here? Couple games still going. And then we're on to the last game. So I hope you guys had fun. Maybe we'll do this again. I would like to do part 2 at some point. To cover the other line of the Ponziani. But yeah, maybe go ahead and give me some feedback if you want on like how do we improve this, or was this good? Like, was this fun? Did you guys get to practice some of the lines? Do you feel like you're more prepared going into, you know, when you just go play your regular games? Do you feel like you know the Ponziani better now? Let me know. Because I do have to spend quite a bit of time to like prepare all those lines. So it's a bit of a time consuming process, but nice Lego set. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, GD, good luck. This is the last game, guys. Do your best. And we'll go D5. Grab the pawn here. Uh-oh. GD. Uh-oh. This is one of the lines we talked about. Bishop B5. And it's not gonna be good. Very logical looking move, but it's just a bad move. The D6. Okay, he takes my knight, but that allows this. So we're gonna be getting another queen here. So do I get the queen or do I... I'm just trying to see the checkmate. Maybe I get the queen first. Because now we have checkmate here. We have checkmate here. If the bishop move, yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I guess I thought there was going to be checkmate, but maybe not. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Yeah, I felt like queen takes should lead to a checkmate, but I just didn't see it. Just didn't see it. Yeah, don't blunder back rank. Yep, that's why we go knight c3 to defend the rook. Black was super unpleasant. Oh, interesting. I enjoyed my games with black. Like I love that line where you sacrifice all those pieces. I had a lot of fun with that. All right, good game. Let me actually see. Did I miss a checkmate there? Because I really felt like I did. No, I didn't miss a checkmate, but it is better to take with the queen. Oh, because you just come out up more material? Is that what it comes down to? and you force the king to f6. So we have 3 pieces and a queen. No, we have an extra rook, a piece, and a queen. As opposed to going back to the game. Yeah, only a rook and a queen. So you get like an extra piece the other way. Okay. And it's a little bit more aggressive. The bishop is still there. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Let's see. That's going to be it, guys. This is the last round. A couple people are still playing. Hopefully you had fun and learned something. Make sure rewatch the first part of this if you need to, where we go over all the lines. There's a lot of good information there if you want to start playing the Ponziani. And like I said, part 2 at some point in the future, we can cover the other lines that we didn't look at. So as a recap for everybody who's kind of late, we talked about knight f6 today. There's also d5. There's a whole bunch of stuff with d5 that we didn't look at. So that'll be part 2 at some point. You may not use analysis while playing chess. Who's playing chess? Who's playing chess? What happened? Where did my tournament go? Where did my tournament go? I think it closed it. Okay. I think it closed it. Here we go. We're back. We're back. Oh, GMV 818 with the 7 out of 8. That is quite impressive. Wow. All right, I'm just hanging out, guys, to see who wins the tournament, and then I'm calling it a night. So, thank you guys for being here. And I have some sleep to catch up on. Oh yeah, Dan. So these aren't knockouts. Yeah, for next time you'll be prepared. Sorry about that, but good game. I don't know, Ty. I had some close games. I thought I was going to lose a couple of those, honestly. Yeah, no problem, Scotty. You think it would be better to have a video a week before the tournament so we can watch at leisure and study? Okay. That's a good idea. So the video comes out and then this tournament's scheduled for a few days later and then you can... Yeah, because it was a lot of information all at once, right? To have to just jump right into the tournament from there. That's a good point. Very good point. All right. Few more games still going here. They're finishing up now, though. Here's one of them. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. All right, well played. There you go. So congratulations to GMV 818 and Geedy. And hopefully everybody else learned some stuff about the Ponziani. That's the point. And you got some, to actually play some of the lines that you learned, right? So, but hey, I do like that idea, Andrew, for next time. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll record the video ahead of time going over the lines and then just mention during there, like, hey, look for the tournament on whatever day. And then we can go from there. I like that idea. Okay. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody, for playing.